Oh, there we go. I see scroll bars now. Okay. What else do I got that's sucking up
You are broadcasting.
my bandwidth?
As in, I can see you.
Oh, you're
not
right.
The lobby.
Well, you know why? Because we just started everything up. Let's do an official start here, kids, so we look like pros, shall we? Wow, my machine was totally under duress there as we started up. I'm looking at 100% CPU over here on my task manager. Rory Becker's with us. Rory, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend.
Yeah.
Although, as you say, your CPU is maybe having interesting fun.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at Visual Studio taking up most of it, and along with Microsoft Edge. So both are being not very nice. Let me shut down Edge here. What's going on with Edge? I got a number of things open with Edge, more than I normally do. It doesn't like live dashboard. I'm going to kill that. And that kind of cleaned up Edge a little bit, I think. Oh, and then it restarted it for me. That's curious. And Visual Studio is locked up too. It's pretty intense. All right, well let's give you guys a view of what I'm looking at here, so you can see it. And also welcome to everyone that's out here. I think I'm going to kill Edge, Rory. At the very least, I'm going to kill Edge, and then we'll see what we can do from there. See if we can free stuff up.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Got some PowerShell stuff up. That's like a little sad for me. I'm like
dropped about 25% on what I was looking at. So
yeah, everything was going pretty well, I thought, until I started streaming seconds ago, and then everybody was like, "No, thank you." So let me just clean up a little bit here. What do we got here? I do have two Mr. Announcer bots running. Let's close one of them.
You also, I mean, your copy of Edge has taken up a collective gigabyte or more of memory, which is up to 15% of, yeah.
Let's kill it. It's gone. My chat room's going to drop, and I've got Outlook open too. I suppose I should take care of that as well. Kill that. I bet I can free up some happy little CPU space and time. All right. What do we got now that's left here? Maybe we are actually, let's see. Yeah, CPU's down to 51. Not bad. Okay, there's my CPU. All right, good. Okay, let's start the show, shall we? Like the pros that we are, Rory?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we started it. That was it right there. Hold on, I'm still seeing. What's it now?
Oh,
Visual Studio, not liking
Studio
it.
just 46% CPU suddenly, just out of nowhere. That's a lot of there's 53 separate processes under the Visual Studio banner there.
All right, I think we're gonna restart this as well, kids. Sorry about this. Let's just end the task, I guess.
Studio's like, oh, Mark's got a powerful machine. I'll be having some of that.
Yeah, it's like I'll be having a lot of that. Should I end it, or should I try to end it nicely? Let's try and end it nicely. Let's try to be respectful developers of the process. And then I'm just going to restart this, because I think with all those processes, I think that some things may not be getting cleaned up. This instance of Visual Studio has been open for days. Maybe that's what's happening, although it is what's going on. Who's taking up my space here? OBS, that's 8%. That makes sense. I don't know. Skype, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kill it. Like, I got a lot of stuff here, and oh, look at this. Doesn't feel right to me to have all these Chrome windows up here owned as well. Let's see what happens if
It's a little strange, isn't it?
Yeah, let me see what happens if I go into PowerShell and I kill all the instances of Chrome. So are these going to go away right here? Yes, those go away. And then all this, yeah. Would you agree with me, Rory? Does it seem like things aren't getting cleaned up?
It seems an awful lot like there's some stuff which I wouldn't even expect as child processes for Studio anyway.
All right.
It's a little weird.
So we're gonna clean that up here. Hold on a second. Okay. Let's restart. Bring up Mr. Announcer Bot one more time. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. Before streaming, I should restart Visual Studio, apparently. Makes me a little bit sad because I'm actually a huge fan of running it for weeks.
Yeah, I do that too.
Because I want to test to make sure CodeRushed is also not similarly, doing anything like that. So...
Occasionally I come in the morning and Visual Studio is having slight difficulties due to some legacy code I have versus not being in administrator mode. And the reason it's not in administrator mode is because the machine reboot overnight. And whilst it's got loads of memory back, everything I had set up is suddenly missing. So, yes.
You know what?
That's how you know your machine is faster. It's because it rebooted and killed everything.
Yeah. You know what I say to that, Roy?
What's that then?
I don't say anything to that, but Mr. Announcer Bot, he says...
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. So Visual Studio says, hey, enjoying it? Give some feedback. Oh, man, this is a... Do they really want to do it now? That's when they want me to give the feedback. Guys, you're not cleaning stuff up. Okay, yeah, we'll save them from that. We're not going to do that now. All right, so what are we going to do today, Roy? I'll tell you, in case you were wondering.
I was indeed wondering, yes. What are we going to do today?
We are going to, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm just still in this process of, now that I've killed everything, bringing everything back up again. I got to bring up my, holy cow. I just started, I opened up I started up Edge, and Edge has got, I think, this feature that says, oh, you shut me down?
Everything you were doing last time.
Allow me to open everything up. And it opened up like 14 Twitch live dashboard windows, it seemed like. Maybe not that many. But it did get my pop-up back. It opened up 1, 2, 3. It seemed like it doubled, tripled pop-up. Another, I got to lock up on this window. That's not good.
See, I don't know what Chrome does for that, but I like Firefox because it presents you with a screen. Here's all the stuff you were running. Which of these would you like me to restart?
Yeah.
And you can decide, no, thank you very much.
Chrome,
and that's great.
Chrome does that restore previous Windows dialog, which is not bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were several of these. I'm sure. Okay, there we go. Will Bennett's there. Well, we don't have the things running yet because we closed them down. We're going to get them here in a second. I'm about to hit start right here. There, I think, is the start. All right, so we're going to roll some dice. That's what we're going to do.
Woohoo!
We're going to roll some dice. And I've got a spec out here. Let me get that spec. I was talking to our dungeon master over the weekend. This is for the show that we're going to do, the Dungeons and Dragons comedy show, which is actually going to be, I think, so flippin' cool because of all these effects and things that we're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. So anyway, I worked through, I was talking about rolling dice. And we basically came upon, we came across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Okay, cool. Well, if Daddy needs, we're not gambling while we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Will, okay? That's a different show, I think.
It's dice in a different scenario.
Yeah. All right. But
gambling with our virtual characters' well-being.
But incredibly funny. Yeah, so we are, yeah, you're right, we are. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roles that the Dungeon Master is going to request of the players. So anytime the dice rolls on screen, that's the player's dice that's going to come out there. If the monsters are rolling or if the Dungeon Master is rolling, he's going to roll a physical set of dice and he's not going to show us the result. He's just going to tell us whether a hit occurred or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. So... with all of these, there's common, kind of this first piece here is these common kind of pieces here. Excuse me. So we've got, you've got the die you're going to roll, which in most cases is a D20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got a modifier, just a numeric modifier to that, whatever that's going to be. You've got a min value that's going to be hidden. So that's like it's the armor class that you have to hit, for example, or the threshold for which you have to, the saving throw has to be met. And so there'll be we'll have that right there. There'll be that that hidden min value that'll come down to our overlay page. By the way, Will, let me know if my sound is too loud, or Rory, take a gander, or a peek, or a listen, actually, is the better verb, into the stream and see if my volume is loud. I'm looking at here. It looks like it's redlining. I just want to make sure I'm not clipping and everything's okay. Sound is good, says Will. All right, thanks, Will.
I reckon you're quite good, yeah.
All right. So we've got a hidden min value. So what will happen is, I didn't want to send the numbers of the roles from the WPF down. I wanted them to be determined inside of the overlay, so they could. There's no way to cheat. Is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it so that if you were looking at the code, you're like, yeah, there's no way he can cheat externally. The only way he can cheat is if he changes this code. This is like this thing that I do. I think it's more, I don't know if it's more autism or not, but I always imagine what's the worst thing that somebody could be speculating about me. And then I'm always like, trying to offer proof that that's not the case, that I'm not,
I think it's pretty healthy to try and identify failings in a system that you're involved in the creation of ahead of somebody else finding those failings.
Sure. That's also another way of thinking about it too.
You know?
And that's why you're here, Rory, because
positive.
It's positive.
It's a good thing.
You're here. You're a good thing, Rory. You're the most awesome thing that any Twitch streamer could want to have right here. So thank you so much. Okay. So we've got that hidden value. So that what's going to happen is we'll roll the dice and figure out what the answer is. We will tell you there's this total. So one of the things we're going to do, probably not today, but I think tomorrow, we're going to show text, or at least explore how to show big text, outline text on screen and animate it. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. So we're going to have that number, like if you roll a 20 or whatever, 26, whatever coming at you. So we're going to figure that out, how to do that live. When I say live, I mean not a pre-recorded, generated thing like a lot of the stuff we have here on the show, like that or
Coding.
those are all pre-recorded, right? And generated, rendered, and all that. And I just hit a button and they play. We don't want to do that in this case because of the complexity of what we're doing with the layers. There are 4 players, and the 4 players, whoever's turn it is, the scene changes. And so if I have 4 different scenes for the 4 different players, and then I want to put on top of that other pre-rendered stuff, that means I have to do 4 different scenes for each one new pre-rendering I want to create.
Yeah, the combinations just get a bit excessive at that stage.
So I'm not going to do that. So instead I'm going to create a way to make text that's dramatic, kind of like what we're seeing when you see the unbelievable or the coding or the So I'm going to try and get something kind of close to that, probably with shadows. I'm going to at least play with shadows. Outline is probably going to be flat, not 3D, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. So the things we're going to send down from the WPF app, we're going to send down what's the die, what's the modifier, what's the hidden min value. We're going to send down as well, I think, any words we're going to say for special roles. Like if you get a roll of 20 on this, you say critical success. Whereas if you if you get over the min value, it's just success. But you have to, so we'll do that logic down on the bottom end. This is not going to be done today. And by the way, I am not going to be here, I think, on Thursday. I'm on vacation, and Rory's won't be here either on Thursday. So it's going to be totally quiet. But I will be back in time for next Tuesday's show. So I'm going to do. Go ahead, Rory. What do you want to say?
I'm looking at the layout. I think firstly, it's great. Like this is one of those dream projects where you actually manage to pin down the domain expert, the guy who you can get a spec out of and get something sensible. So this is a great spec here. Yeah. So that's lovely. I dream of stuff like that sometimes. And secondly, I've got an interesting comment, I guess. You've got an R1, an R20, and a few other conditions, if you like.
Yeah.
I wonder whether the stuff on the right-hand side of the colon there would qualify as an effect, as defined by the rest of our system, or indeed series of effects. Because you've got a sad trombone there, which is a sound effect. You've got critical success, which is potentially a text animation, which is that new thing you were talking about maybe making.
Right.
And then, of course, you could have combinations of this offset by various sets of time and all of that. I wonder if that all feeds back into our existing pot of effects.
That's interesting. I didn't really think about that. I was just going to, take the raw data and send it, and I was going to then figure out what to do on the other side, on the receiving side, because I feel like there's a limited set of behaviors that we need to implement. And it's going to be kind of a tweaking kind of thing on these. And this is not so much, I think, the same thing as like, with the other one, we had to build the editor for the items because there are like hundreds of items and each item might have a different effect.
That's true. So there's a lot of potential items.
Yeah, with here,
these less so.
Yeah, with here, there are, I think, about 8 known outcomes. Not as much, and so I wasn't really thinking about it, but I'm open to what you're suggesting. It's more work on one side and less work. It's more work in UI and less work in the code.
Sure.
And I was kind of looking forward to doing this in the code, but it's way more flexible if we do it your way. So I'm gonna hold off on deciding. Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. We'll see where we go with this.
Cool.
Well, anything else I want to say? So there's some text that we would send over on these, I think. Or alternatively, this could be hard baked in. These kinds of things could be hard baked, and we just let the dungeon master choose which one of these. Like, that's probably the better way. Is it going to be a skill check, saving throw, a death saving throw? Because a death saving throw's got some special UI associated with it to show you how close a player is to death. And an attack has also got a really cool effect I want to work on. And if it's a spell, when we attack, I want to see dice. I want to see sparks flying around the dice, or when the dice. Yeah. And I also am playing with this idea of of shooting sparks out whenever the die collide with the floor. So if the die's rolling across the floor, just have sparks shooting out from under the die. Kind of cool stuff. Let me show you where I am here. Since we last left off, all the code is checked in here. It's going to take a while to load up here. Let me click on it so we get some sound effects here.
Ooh.
Did you see this yet? Maybe you didn't see this yet.
I did not see this. No, this was presumably over the weekend, yeah?
Sound effects are about to kick in, I think. Okay.
There we go.
Bear with me for a second. The sound effects just all kicked in at once right there. Sorry about that. Oh, why are we having so much? Let's mute this a second. So let's go here. You still with me, Rory?
I am still with you. Yeah, I love the effect there. It's, the dice rolls onto the table and then the universe kind of claims them back.
Yeah, that's what's going on here. So let me what do I want to do? I want to, let's see well, I don't know. I guess we can come up here. I know what I want to do. I want to reduce the amount of die that we're rolling because I think it's a little bit too much. So I'm going to come up over here, number of dice to roll. I'm going to change this to 4, like that. I'm going to come back over here. Let's refresh it. It'll take a while to load again. We'll be able to unmute it. I've also got my volume mixer up in case that's too... Will's going to be here Thursday Flying Drones. So yeah, we'll just, run the stream, start it up as usual. Okay. So I've hit refresh.
That is not 4 dice.
Yeah, I've hit refresh.
That is.
It's not done, but you'd think it would be rolling 4 dice by now. Well, I don't get that. I saved it. Okay, let's see if there's a 4 coming out now. Definitely not 4. Dice to roll is 4. We using that? Yep. All right, let's try one more time. Let's do that instead. Empty cache, hard reload. While that's happening, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. Well, I clicked it. Where is it? Where are you on screen? Here we are. So I'll show you. One of those things you saw, I thought I'd bring this up because I thought it was kind of fun. It looks really, really cool. It started with this gear image here. Here, let's see what we got. I still don't have 4. What is going on here? Huh. That's all right. I can still do it with 5, but I don't get, or with 10, but I don't get what's going on. Let's see where we're
Well, we
going here.
definitely pointed at the location where the latest version is generating. Was there any kind of a movement? Because previously there was a change you made. It for some reason affected the output directory of the JavaScript, and thus you were looking at older JavaScript. Now, of course, this is new to me, but it's old to you.
Yeah, I don't get this. I was doing this. I was making changes like crazy, and no problem. Dice Roller TS. I don't know. I guess we can go inspect the source on that. It's going to be here. No, wait. Where is it? Dice Roller TS. Yeah, it doesn't have the latest. Why doesn't it have the latest?
So that's outputting to a dice folder. It's the Dice Roller TS, which is the file at least that you're using above.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Huh.
I don't get it at all. I feel like I want to make one more change and then save it and try again on here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, what is happening here? Why did this happen before, Rory? Do you remember?
Last time we went to look at the last modified dates of both the JS and the TS file that we expected it to be referencing. So actually, if you were to find let me see, you're in a dice roller folder, and there must presumably be I think it's a source folder underneath that, and then a dice folder underneath that, and then there's a JS file, which is where it's actually running from. If we were to check the date on that file, and it should be today as of a minute or so ago.
Yeah, so look at this.
In fact, there it is. It does have an up-to-date.
I think
that file is very specifically correct.
I think it's Chrome. Let me try this. Let me start a new instance of Chrome. Let's see what's going on with this. Look at that. It's Chrome.
That's 4. Wow.
Wow, it's right. I came in here even with empty cache and hard reload. Whoa, did it change to 4 just now?
I did not see.
Well, I think I saw 4 dice come out. Let's double check it. Look at that. What? Okay.
So when one copy of Chrome decides to refresh its understanding of the files, finally, it actually percolates back into the other copy.
Yeah, it's an appeal to popularity is what it is. Okay.
Chrome votes on the latest source code with itself.
Yeah. All right, so I got 4 of these coming in here. Here's the effect that's running right now. Let's go into the inspector console. New effect, shockwave. That's going to do. Hold on a second. Colored smoke, bomb, steampunk tunnel. This is the one I wanted to show you. We'll unmute for a second here.
Nice.
Super cool effect. It's very loud in my ears, but I'm like Isn't that cool?
That is good.
All right, let me show you a little bit of how I built that. I'm super psyched by it. Found this photo somewhere online. Someone took a picture of a big fat gear, and I said, "Okay, cool. Let's get rid of this part in the middle here. Take that out. Right there's the outer piece right there. Let's add some shadows to it. Right, nice. Do that." Yep. Then I found this from my good friend Elon Musk out there. I think it was originally, actually the picture originally looked like that, but I photoshopped out the pipe, and I said, thanks Elon for taking that photo. Hopefully you won't sue me for copyright on your boring, if I give you a plug for your boring company. And I
love the ambiguity of that statement.
Speaking of ambiguity, did you see my tweet this morning? Oh no, that was irony, not ambiguity. Never mind. All right, so then I took that, I colored it a little bit of blue. I took a fan, I stuck it down in the middle, down there at the bottom of it. Wait, what's this other one? I think I have a colored fan, a little bit better. So I colored it, and then I added these kind of shadow effects in it. And then I put the whole thing in Adobe Premiere, just spun some stuff around, give it a little bit of animation, made it look like it's coming up out of the ground. If you watch these closely, you'll see them disappear into the ground and then come back out. And overall, I feel like I look like I'm a pro animator without a lot of work in this whole thing. And
It's looking very nice.
It really is. And it makes me happy too because it's almost comically funny. Right? It's basically, wait, somebody built with technology, the ability to suck down a die so it could explode, and then they close it just before it comes up.
Because removing a dice from the table in any other way would be too boring, right?
That's right. Yeah.
No?
That's what we want to
Clearly
do.
needed to call otherworldly powers on board specifically for the dice.
Yeah. Okay, so let me mute that. And by the way, yeah, this is like hypnotic for me. I'm like, you put like 9 of these on here, I cannot stop looking at this stuff, regardless of the effect. A couple other effects I created, not as detailed as this one. I created something. If I left click it, you'll see in the console window, new effect ring. So the ring effect, I think you've seen already. I just tweaked it a bit, and so it kind of fades in. This effect I want to use when we're rolling a magic dice for a spell. So and I want that effect to follow the dice. This I think we'll do tomorrow. I will do this, and I think it's going to look super cool. But it's really fun stuff. There's no sound effect associated with this, but when you're a magician, you want to cast a spell, I want the dice to always have this kind of magic thing around it. And I think we'll have player colors as well. And we're using our hue shifting sprite that we built a while back for these, right?
Yeah.
In all of these, we're just shifting the hue to make it look a little more interesting because we want the show to be interesting, right? That's kind of something that
when you have such a nice versatile piece of technology, it's a shame not to use it in more things. And it is an optimization as well, because you only need one set of the graphics in order to function.
Yeah, exactly. So we got it. Okay, the portal is one we saw. We've seen that already. And then there's the portals. Love those as well. Oh, and
I think it's fair to say that there's not another show, be it on TV or the internet or a game or anything else, that puts this level of effort into dice.
That's
I think
right.
You've beaten them all.
That's right, man. Isn't it awesome? I beat them. They said I couldn't do it. So we've got some exits. We also have some animations that are not exits, like the fireball over the 20 and stuff like that. So we'll kind of tweak this, but I want to make it so that we're getting closer to the Dungeon Master actually using this for real. There's hold on, let me click again. Shockwave, nothing yet for Shockwave. Colored smoke. I don't know if you saw this or not. Let me unmute for a second.
Oh, very nice.
And the bomb is the other one that I think is new. You haven't seen this.
You've been busy.
The cool thing about the bomb, watch the bomb. The bomb actually, it envelops the die, right? Look at this. See that? Isn't that cool? So the bomb is actually going off both underneath the die and above the die. So we've got multiple layers here that we're doing here to make that work. So you can actually create an effect. By the way, my kids are homeschooled. I've got 2 kids that are homeschooled. And one of the classes we've been talking about doing is a special effects class. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a all-day special effects class with these kids on some coming weekend. And we are going to build an effect for this game. And the effect is going to be a hand reaching up out of the ground, grabbing the die and pulling it down into the ground and having it disappear underneath, right? As if the ground were made out of this white kind of clay temporarily and go down.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. And the hand's going to be white and, coming out because it's going to have all that clay around it. So we're going to shoot that with the kids. I'm going to show them how to reach around, grab the die.
Hey kids, this is what horror movies were back like in the day.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's going to be so fun. The other thing I want to do for that is once we do that, we're going to need to be able to rotate animations. We don't have that yet, but because I can't have the hand coming from the same direction all the time. I need it coming from a different location. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. Yeah, these effects are looking really good. I'm really, really happy. I did spend some time over the weekend on these. I'm super happy with where they are. It's going to look great. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to, we need to fix this right here. We need to fix this guy. And right now I've got damage dice, normal roll, advantage roll. And we need to also fix... see what's going on here. Somebody is talking to me on Skype. Okay. Got it. All right. New feature of the week. The one we recorded is coming out soon, so I need to review that. We need to change this. So the diceroller.ts started as a JavaScript file. I converted it over to TypeScript, but really didn't really convert it to any TypeScript classes. There are no TypeScript classes here. I do have a TypeScript class called Dice Layer. This takes care of all my sprite effects. And I have one called Dice Sounds. This takes care of all the sound effects that are playing while we're running. So Dice Roller is the one we've got to make some changes to. Dice Roller has got this second between rolls piece here, because what it does is it sets up an interval that's just rolling every single time. It's calling random dice throw right here, and it goes in and gets...
Makes for a good demo.
Yeah, it makes for a good demo, but we need to change this. I'm not exactly sure how to change this yet. I also don't like the structure of this piece. This is all inside the init. Yeah, this whole thing is kind of messy and gross and needs some refactoring. I'm not necessarily disparaging the original author of this, because I've added to the problem since we've, in trying to figure this out and to get here. But it's got an init function, and inside the init function, it's got, it does a bunch of stuff that should be out in their own methods. Building the walls. Hold on, let me show you the walls for a second too. Let me turn show walls to true. And let me do something else as well. Let's go make it so I cannot click. There's the one I want right down there. And let's see. Oh, one other thing, I just realized I lost my chat window. There it is right there. Straight Butter, didn't get a notification you were live. God.
Oh.
Sorry about that, Straight Butter.
That's bad. Well, you're with us now. This is good. You join us as we are about to start some refactoring of our dice roller.
So I'm going to take the front canvas. I'm going to move it to the back. Like this. That means I won't be able to click on the front canvas. That means I can click on the 3JS surface. If I can click on the 3JS surface, we can change the camera around. And I'm going to and I turned on walls. I just wanted to show you what's happening here, what I've done on here, why the dice are always kind of landing in a particular spot. Here's the refresh. Okay. Here's what I've done. So I've got some walls down here at the bottom.
Interesting.
By the way, these walls were all created programmatically, trial and error. I don't know how to, I did not know how to do it any other way. I wasn't smart enough to math calculate them. So this bottom area here is where our 4 players' heads are going to be, live video.
Sure.
So I decided I didn't want the dice to go over their faces. And this is where our Dungeon Master sits up here in the upper left corner of the screen. And then I had problems with the dice bouncing out of the walls. And so what I did is this. I made it so that the dice are going to always roll in, even if they come back over here. This really didn't happen on small rolls, but if I had a roll of like 20 dice or something like that, so if I just had a straight up and down wall here, sometimes dice would land on the other side. And so I did this and I tested it with, I think, 25 dice at once, and everything always lands in these spots. There's also an invisible wall on the right and an invisible wall across the bottom as well that you don't see. Or wait, yeah, that's right. Yeah, those are the 2 walls. So that's it. That's kind of what's going on. Now we can move this around here, but this whole thing is running from one fixed perspective, and that fixed perspective is brought to us, by whatever our starting one is, and the inability to click or touch the 3JS there. So that's what's going on with that. Let me just want to get you up to speed with that. All right. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut everything down, because I need to make some changes to the HTML code. I wonder if I can do this. Wouldn't it be cool if I could shut down only this? And then make changes to it.
Yeah. The only thing is, how will you start it back up? Because if nothing else has...
Well, I can use your trick, Rory. You told me, but the answer is I cannot do that. So let's try one other thing. I just thought of something we can do. Let's kill everything. I'm going to restart it, but I'm going to restart everything without the Dungeon Master app, and then I'll just manually start that one. Then that way everything will still keep running.
Right. Yes.
And then I think we're going to be in better shape. So
that should work well. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. Let's kill every instance of Chrome. Every instance of Chrome is killed. Let's kill out our, shut down our Mr. Announcer bot. We have done that. And...
So you're not planning on making changes to the Dungeon Master app?
I am. That's the one I'm planning to change.
Right, so whilst everything else is running in debug mode, except for the Dungeon Master app, how will you then rebuild the Dungeon Master app in order that your new execution will take advantage of your changes?
You're right. I need to get a second instance of Visual Studio App, don't I? I was gonna do this, but I think you're right. It's gonna block me even though I'm not running it.
But it's going to think everything's running as per your expectations,
Yeah.
so I don't know that it would be happy with the build at that point.
Now
It's trying to help, but
I'm gonna get a second instance of it started up. That's what I'm gonna do, and we'll see how well that works. Playing with two instances of Visual Studio on the same project. Yeah, I guess the other thing I could do is create a project that has only these in it, and that could also solve it. I mean, create a solution that has only this project in it.
yeah.
I often say project when I mean solution sometimes. Sorry about that.
I
Okay.
think there's a few people do that. That's not an entirely unreasonable thing.
See why Rory's awesome, kids? Every shortcoming. All right, so let's look at this here. I need, I want to get my spec up again, and I just killed it, didn't I? Because I shut down every instance of Chrome. I want to get my spec up. And boom. What's happening? I just grabbed. I think the drone is not going to work until I refresh here. Okay, that's. What's happening here? My Alt tab. There we go. Okay, just like I think I'm just dealing with. Wow. Dealing with my computer. I bet it's at 100% right now. Whoa, again, like, geez, I'm alt-tabbing, and the feedback loop is slow. I'm hitting 1, 2, 3, nothing's happening. Then I saw it, and I hit it again, and then I said, that's the one I want. I released it, and then it went ching, 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 and it brought up another one. That's what
you need certain UI things to just be quick. Alt-tab is clearly one of them. I forget what the other one I had in mind was, but without that, things that you need to be fast, your usual workflows just don't operate the same, and you overlap yourself. It's awful.
Yeah, my machine is still, even though it says 75, even my mouse drag right there was slow. Yeah, it's like crazy. Yeah, it's slow right here. It's like slow, and then it speeds up to catch up with me. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm making that sound effect. What is up with that? Just all, am I being punished because I started up a second instance of Visual Studio? I don't get that. Yeah, the mouse is totally doing this thing. Yeah, click on the taskbar, waited a few seconds for it to come up. That's the new one I started, not the one that's not running.
Musteric has joined us and says, this looks like fun. He's often considered a co-play companion app for tabletop. Which, yeah, this is going to help us. I don't know how long you've been running with us in the stream here, Musteric, but this is effectively to enable Dungeon Master to essentially run the game from his own computer whilst other players participate and indeed have varying effects applied to them as time progresses. So it should be a very useful thing. And we're going to run this as a stream. This is just the tooling for the stream in which the game will be played later on. So this should be very interesting indeed. If we can get Mark's machine to behave.
Yeah. Edge is apparently the culprit now. There's nothing, it's high, but there's nothing that's all encompassing and taking everything. It's like, really? I don't understand. Why am I being punished? Why is the world against me, Rory? Okay. Why did I bring that up? Oh, I remember. I brought this up because I want to.
You were looking for your spec.
Yeah, get that spec up again. Hold on a second. Let me bring that up. Because the spec's going to impact the, it's going to impact the UI, and I've just been giving this the smallest amount of thought, but I'm about to give it a lot of thought. So we have skill check, saving throw, death saving throws, attack rolls, a flat D20, and a percentage roll. Out of all of these are all a D20 roll, right? And then percentage roll is a very special kind of roll, and there's a percentage roll, two different kinds there. There's just a flat percentage roll, and then a wild sorcery magic percentage roll, where I want to have magical effects on the die as they're coming through. So hold on one second. Looks like, there we go. My white balance was trying to correct because of all the blue, which turned me yellow. Now I'm back to normal color. Okay, so we need to be able to specify the modifier, the hidden threshold for what that's going to, whatever that's going to be. And ideally, I want whatever's happening in the game to specify these things automatically. So the Dungeon Master really is not going to have to enter any numbers in. The Dungeon Master is going to drag one attack onto a creature. And when that attack is going to then fill these in, and the Dungeon Master is going to say, roll or something like that. Like that. And so, so I'm going to ignore percentage roll for now. We'll deal with UI on that later because everything else is the same, D20. So we need modifier, we need a hidden min value, we need those two things on the UI. I think we have, we have additional damage dice. That's another piece in here. That is new, or that is in additional, that'll go down. So the idea is on an attack roll, we'll be able to specify something like 2d8 in here. And then when the roll hits, we'll roll both the d20 and the attack dice, and the that will if the hit occurs, you'll see the damage, and if the hit misses, you'll see what the damage would have been, which is great for imagining alternate realities and being in those kinds of emotional states. So okay, so we've got the attack dice string is in here. I think I'm going to duplicate this block right there, and we're going to call this our modifiers, and we'll do this modifier like that, and then TBX modifier like that. And what I should really have done is this, and then selected the whole thing and then duplicated it because, oh, look at that. That didn't work for me. Duplicate line on there didn't work for me, Rory. Can you mark the time?
Yep, no problem.
I wonder if it's a XAML thing. It could totally be a XAML thing. I want to try again with copy and paste. But I had duplicate selection on there, and it did not highlight the pieces like I was expecting them to do. Let's try copy and paste and see what happens. Copy, paste. Or maybe it did work, Rory. It was just, you know what it's done? It did. It saw that I had changed attack dice to a modifier, so it went back. It's making a suggestion. I think it might have worked. Just give me the time and I'll double check on it.
Yeah.
So this one's not going to be our modifier. This is going to be our hidden threshold.
Yep.
Like that. Like that. And then the text is going to be hidden threshold like this. And so we've got those pieces right there. And let's do a margin. One of the templates I think we've got out here is M0, which I like a lot for creating specific margins. We've got M and any other number. If we do M like 4, it'll just give me that, and it's done. But if you want to individually specify each one, you can just type in M0. And so I'm going to say 0 here. The top, I'm going to say 0. And the nothing on the right, and the bottom, I'm going to say 8, like this. And then I'm going to use selection increase to get that, and then we're going to come down here and paste it here as well, like that.
We should point out that a lot of these things are features of CodeRushed, which is one of it's the tool that you're using to augment your experience in a number of ways, in fairness, which we're going to give away a copy of. We pretty much do every time we stream, and those that follow the channel are pretty much up for the potential for winning a copy of that. So well worth following, if not for no other reason than that, but obviously the great content that we're delivering here, I feel is pretty entertaining and very, very much worth your time.
Okay, then there you go, kids. All right, so I'm just filling in some values here for that. This is going to specify what kind of role it is, but then we also have the other. I was thinking normal, advantage. These are going to, so the question is, are these going to launch it? And then up above, we'll have radio buttons that select which type, or the templates are yes. Is that a CodeRushed thing? Yeah, there we go. I didn't see this from Mosterick. There's always the issue of how to have the DM talk to a specific player without leaking metadata to other players. Having a clandestine way to do things like spot checks, or for example, when the thief in the group decides he wants to rifle through the cleric's pockets, but without alerting the cleric, it can be hard. Yes. So we have got our dungeon master, by the way, is excellent. This guy is great. And he's going to sometimes just may ask people to do a roll, or he may do a roll, I guess, maybe on somebody's behalf. But we are communicating via Skype, and Skype does allow us to chat in secret back channels with the dungeon master. So that's something that's something that we are going to be able to do as well. Anything to make the XAML take fewer keystrokes.
As I said, many things. I mean, the templates that we have in CodeRushed are, you can construct them yourself for a start. So if you do happen to have a particular piece of XAML that you like to use on a regular basis, which has fields and pieces, it's certainly possible to create that yourself. But we do have a number of templates that ship with the product to make things like creation of buttons and stack panels and various things significantly quicker in terms of number of keystrokes. Yeah,
let me show you this here. I'm just going to bring up the keystroke visualizer here. I want to create a stack panel. It's just SP like that. I can give it a name, specify its orientation like that. Hit enter, and then I'm inside. Once I'm inside, if I want to hit a button, I just put B and then spacebar like that. There's my button. Mm-hmm. BTN hello, something along those lines.
You'll see that what Mark's doing here is he's basically using a mnemonic system wherein just the basic sounds or the sort of the keys are SP for stack panel, B for button. Everything is almost predictable. If you weren't sure what it was, you could probably make a fair guess and still get it right. Once the expansion actually happens, you're left with a number of fields that you can tab between and just fill out those pieces. So there's no arrowing around or control left, control right, except in maybe your own singular pieces of text that you emit inside that. So. And again, no shifted characters. So where you'd normally be going angle brackets and colons and, shifted quotes and all that kind of stuff saves you a lot of keystrokes because all of the ceremony, if you like, is removed wherever possible.
Yeah. Here's what's happening too in the keystroke visualizer. Every time something happens, a CodeRushed feature, we put a little gem inside here like this, kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And if it's this color, if it's teal, it's a template expansion. So here I typed in CKB, hit the space bar, nothing happened. Realized, it's just CK for checkbox. Hit backspace to backspace past that and get to the K, and I just hit the space bar, and there we can see the CK template expanded right there. And what's going over here? Expand selection is what I did. I did that a couple times. So that's the CodeRushed keystroke visualizer.
Should also be noted that works in pretty much all the languages. So you've got your JavaScript, your Visual Basic .NET, and your C# as well.
Right.
Did I say HTML? JavaScript, TypeScript, basically all the things that are of any use to the typical sort of central Visual Studio user.
Yeah,
helps in so many places.
Okay, I figured out what I'm going to do on the buttons. So At first I thought, let's have buttons for normal, advantage, disadvantage. That's what I thought. Because I was thinking, you know what? It is, I don't know, I was just thinking I want it to be fast, right? So I want you to be able to just hit a button and go. Is what I wanted to do, right? But it's now occurred to me that is not what I really, really want to do on this. I want instead these to be checkboxes. The reason why is because those four main roles, skill checks, saving throws, death saving throws, and attacks, those are the choices that are going to be more likely to be different each time we do it. These are less likely to be different, and so they are not going to be the ones that we're going to give you the big savings on. We give you the big savings on these by just having a big fat button that says skill check, saving throw, death saving throw, attack. So that's what I'm going to do. These I want to turn into checkboxes. I wonder if I can do it like just here, checkbox like that. Yeah, I don't like the look, but we can restyle that. I want it to be big and fat on these. Is what I want. I want the Dungeon Masters to be able to click and it's lit up, very obvious, this is an advantage roll, or very obvious, this is a normal roll or disadvantage roll.
Just a double check, Mark. Do you mean checkboxes or are you thinking radio buttons? Because are these alternatives to one another?
No, you're right. They're radios. Sorry.
Okay.
Radio button like that. Is that what it is? Okay. We'll come up there. I still want the look to change. I want it to be if it's checked, I want it to be big and highlighted, very clear if it's an advantage or disadvantage roll in some way.
We've got a question from the chat room here. Mosterick again. Any plans to interface with the character sheet so the DM can select the player and modifiers pop in automatically? You should see what we've done already, Mosterick. We have a huge back catalogue of things that have happened. So far from, well, I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but certainly there is a character sheet which is displayed on screen at the same time. And as the Dungeon Master interacts with the WPF app representing the same sheet, so the sheet on screen changes and highlights various pieces of it. So there's definitely a fair amount of work there already.
I'll show you.
The modifiers,
it's actually this
certain interactive.
It's actually this page we're on right here. We're about to lose it because I hit run with debugging, but we're about to lose it. But you'll see when it comes up. Sorry, Rory, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I just say, so what I know that we have covered is sort of the manipulation and the alteration, actually, of some of the stats the Dungeon Master's will, and then that flowing through. We should explain, we've got a WPF app, which we're going to place in the hands of the Dungeon Master, right? There you see the sheet. Interactions with that make a SignalR connection to the running background hub, which then further transmits that information back to the web page, which is what is ultimately streaming. So there is quite a bit of work gone into this already, but almost everywhere we turn, we think, oh, and we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this. So there's a lot of potential here as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking for there's the overlay bot right there. Hold on a second, but I'm not sure if, let me refresh the cache on that and see if this works. That's great with the SignalR backend, says Mosterick. Yeah. Let's see what happens when that refresh is done, if this is going to work or not. There it is, right there. So that's the overlay that you're going to see right there when it's somebody's turn. So when it's like my turn, that'll happen. And then what Roy was talking about is the ability. Right now, these are not in sync. Some of these, not all of these are in sync yet. What just happened? Why did I lose? It looks like I'm at a breakpoint. Oh, there is a breakpoint there. It wasn't for a second. Let's run it. Okay. Oh, I had the wrong page up. Is that what had happened? That's why it was. So it was in sync. I just had the wrong page up, I think. Let's hit 9. Let's hit enter on that. See if it goes across. No. No. But I can highlight these pieces, right, like that. I can click on something.
Yeah. I really like the little effects we've got. So as the scroll unfurls, we have some sparkles. We've also got them when you highlight things like that. And all of that was done with a custom particle system that we built pretty much from the ground up.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to go back and look at that, certainly. We do have all of this available in GitHub repos. Although I believe some of the assets involved are not. I think it's assets issues, potentially.
We'll change the page. He did a test page 2 command. That's what happened. He says he changed it. That's why it was not there. Now we do have this. This is like this perf issue right here, it seems. I suspect it's related to timing in the particle system, is what I suspect. But, I don't know. So we'll, anyway, let me get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that by refreshing the cache on the current page. That did not work. There we go. Oh, it's refreshing, it looks like. So anyway, so that is what this is kind of the Dungeon Masters app. That's kind of what we're building here. So we're working on those pieces of it. All right. Let's go back to working with the UI. So we've got our damage ice modifier, and now I need to get one more stack panel down here, which is the roll stack panel. And so let's do that. So we're going to say stack panel, and we're going to call it SP roll now buttons, I guess. And that's going to be I'm going to go with horizontal actually, and then inside here, I want to have some buttons. And so this is going to be BTN. Let's get our list up again. Skill check, saving throws, skill check. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And let's duplicate this. And we're going to saving throw. Actually, let's do this too. Actually, I want to do this because I want to save some time. So we're going to use CodeRushed again to do this. All right. So I'm going to mark that. Mark that. And let's duplicate that line. And now we're going to say death saving throw.
Thank you very much, Links Lumps, for the follow. Yes, your name was indeed up there. We want to give a little bit back for follows and so forth. And indeed, as a result, you'll be entered into the draw for a copy of CodeRushed in successive weeks. And your chance will be, well, I think we've had now, 111 episodes this is. And how many copies of CodeRushed? We've given 111 away.
Yeah, over 100.
So obviously, then... I think, what was it? I can't see from the current stream, but I believe we have a little over 600 followers at the moment, so that's a 1 in 6 chance. That's pretty good.
It's not bad, yeah. And so we have, this is a flat 20, flat D20. Like that is the roll here. All right, and so we've got that, death saving throw, skill check. Like that. And let's do like margin 8 and margin 8. I should have set these up before. Margin 8, not 98. And margin 8 and margin 8. And it's okay. I kind of also want to do like a padding 8 as well, I think, to make these bigger. Yeah, let's do that too. P8. P8. I really want a feature that gets me from here to the equivalent sibling location, either above me or below me. I think we had something like this a while back in a plugin or an earlier version of CodeRushed, and I'm totally wanting it now. Okay, let's just set up some event handlers for these. We need a checkbox to whether we're using magic or not. Also, I'm thinking that the death saving throw is a kind of a. I should organize this by. Wait, how do I get that in that drawing thing? Oh, okay, got it. I see it hides itself in full screen mode. I'm not sure what that's referring to.
Musteric was looking to how to follow so that he can be in the draw for a copy of CodeRushed.
Got it.
Because let's face it, it's an awesome product.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I want to take the death saving throw. This is less likely, and I want to take it. I want to put it out near the end. I also think, attacks and saving throws and skill checks. Trying to figure that out. Which one's more important? I think attack is on the left. Mm-hmm. Is what I think, and saving throw is next, and skill check is in the middle. That's what I'm thinking. And I think I want to have a min width on here. So we created that template on the show here the other day, MN, and then the width like 80 or something after it. What? Wasn't that it? Min, oh, MNW. I have to specify what it is. 80, like that. MW, 80. There we go. That's what it was. It was MX80 for max width. Okay, so MW80 gives me that. I'm going to make it 100. And I want to put this, I think, in most of these, all of these maybe. Mm-hmm. So we've got, okay, like that. All right, cool. So we've got an attack, saving throw. Now, then, use magic should be another checkbox we need to add above this here. So I'll just have this floating by itself here. CKB, use magic, like that. Maybe check, save, attack. Skill checks happen all the time, even out of combat. Right. Oh, you think skill checks at the beginning. Okay, you know what? You're right. Absolutely. Let's do that. And let's do that. I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. Should it just be, I think it's going to be skill check. And use magic. modifier threshold. And I think that somewhere up here, we're going to have some additional data that'll come in here for the role. Right now, this is like my test UI, but it's going to be very similar to final UI, I think, is what I think will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got our event handlers out here. I say let's write some code to do something here. Let's do it like an attack. How are you doing on time today, Rory? By the way.
Got about another 10 minutes or so.
That's when I'm scheduled to start the really cool stuff.
Oh, what an outstanding coincidence.
It happens all the time. Yeah. All right. So let's look at the attack. Somewhere in here, I think I've got. Here we go. Test roll dice is here. Takes a dice roll. Let's go figure that out and put it in here. So we need to create a new dice roll here. This class is brand spanking new, and so it probably needs some stuff in it. I have a feeling that it's pretty much got not a lot, just the basics inside of it. Let's take a look. Yeah, so the dice roll kind is going to be normal, advantage, or disadvantage. So that's in there. Good. The damage dice is in there. We need to add the modifier. Modifier is going to be I'm going to say it's a double. So we'll say AD for an auto-implemented property of type double. We'll say modifier. Like that. We want to have another double, which is the hidden threshold. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want a Boolean, which is magic. And is that it? Did I get all the stuff from our UI?
I'm trying to think. Was there another hidden?
Nope. That's it.
There was a yes, the modifier. That was all. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah. The only other thing though is that these 5 I think are an enum: the skill check, attack, saving throw, flat d20, or death saving throw. These are an enum because we need to tell down below the overlay which one of these we're going to use. So let's create an enum.
So you're going to do the basic dice roll within the WPF app. You're going to send the value to the overlay, and the overlay is going to adjust it appropriately. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
right. So I think I'm going to call this roll type. I hate having dice roll kind and dice roll type. I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it for now. All right. So first element name is going to be It's going to be a skill check. Enter. The next one is going to be an attack. Enter. The next one is going to be a what? What's the next one? I forget. Saving throw. Saving throw. Next one is going to be flat D20. Next one is going to be a death saving throw. And then there's one more. This is this percentage roll. Is this other one? Is I think the last one. And I think that's it. So those are the dice roll types that we're creating. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, come down here, hit the letter A, followed by the / which means not the / I want to do the backslash. Backslash means takes what's on the clipboard and use it in the template. And so we're going to call this the roll type, I guess. Like this. And so maybe we'll just call it type. So we've got there. So now we've got this class out here. Let's take this, move it to its own file. And there's our dice roll. There's our serialization code for when we send it out. Oh, look at these. Oh, these are no longer hooked up to anything right here. Wait, they are hooked up. Let's go fix that. That's when we click those. No thanks.
Right, yes, because of course we started off with buttons for those functions.
Yeah.
And we no longer have buttons for those functions.
That's right. All right, so we're going to kill that. And so we're going to come down here. We're going to say new dice roll. And what do we need in here? We need the dice roll kind.
That's the enumeration we just set up, which will include the mechanization.
Yeah, so I'm going to say dice roll kind. Let's create a new variable. And then we're going to say if, you know what I need to do though? I'm going to go crazy if I don't do this. I need to take these and I need to change their names to RB for radio button. RB, like that. Does CodeRushed help with the find all references problem with XAML? I'm still finding files. I don't know if it does or not. Roy, can you look that up, see if we got to find all references in XAML?
Good question. If we do, it'll be Shift F12, I believe. So I'm guessing you could probably just try it on one of the referenced objects.
Oh, you mean you're asking? Oh, yeah. The answer is yeah, it does. So if I'm here on a name, I can just hit the tab key, and this is CodeRush's find next reference feature, and it's just tabbing me through all the references to these. So the answer is yes. You can do that with. You can also do it over here as well with event handlers as well. So see what I've done right there? I'm just hitting the tab key. Mm-hmm. So yeah, CodeRushed totally helps with that. It's totally an awesome feature. Tab to next reference. You're on a reference. You want to go somewhere else. You hit the tab key.
And of course, when you start that sequencing through things and you get distracted by a piece of code, a simple escape will pull you back by collecting the marker that was laid when you initially started that feature. Yeah.
Next question is, can I start out here? And the answer is yeah. So if I'm here, well, nothing's here. If I, oh no, wait, I do have one. I have one there. Sorry.
So you're saying get all the places it appears. So you can certainly tab through them. I believe the find all references also works, doesn't it? The Shift F12.
Yeah, I think so. I don't really use that UI very much. Here it is right here. Come on. Right there. So I just did Shift F12 on that. Okay.
Yep.
I did tab direct next reference down here, and all I got was a tab, but I think it's because I got code that doesn't compile. I think I got...
That's possible, yeah.
That's my problem right here. Let me try it again down there, tab now. Now it works. Yeah, it just had some code that was just really broken. Okay.
So we got you covered whether you want to just step through the individual items, visiting them one by one, seeing them in context, or if you want to group them all together and show them by, well, actually, there's several grouping methods in that list. And yeah, so all kinds of options are for you.
Mosrek says, holy punctuation marks. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's very good, Mosrek. We're, we are like...
We're kind of proud of that stuff. It's not bad at all.
Mosrek, let's just give Mosrek a copy of this. Can you...
Sure.
Do I need to do anything for that, Rory, to do that? Since he's since he or she is helping us out? Since Mosrek is helping us out, I also got to be careful about my assumptions about gender. Sorry, go ahead. Roy, what do you want to say?
I'm just trying to remember what the strict procedure is. We need to get hold of
I need to DM Mosrek, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that like right now. Let me do that, and I'll get you your instructions now.
Mosrek helping us out. He's a he. There you go.
Okay, great.
That solves that problem for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'm glad.
I'm wary about stepping on people.
I'm glad. Yeah, I didn't. I was just thinking. Oh yeah, I shouldn't mess this up. Here. Wait, hold on a second. Here come your instructions.
So that counts as giving a copy of CodeRushed away, although it's not our traditional mechanic. And I'm sure that there's a plan to give another one away, but I'm afraid, Mark, I have to leave you. Temporarily.
No worries. No worries, buddy. No worries, buddies.
But,
all right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow at the same time then.
Thank you so much, Roy. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow's show is going to be fast. It's going to be 1 hour. We're going to, because I got to get to an airport tomorrow. Yeah, too bad. Mosrek, check your Twitch Whisper direct message UI. You should see something from CodeRushed, and that's going to be your instructions for how to get instructions to download. So that's how you do that. Okay. So dice roll kind, we need to come down here and check to see, hey, if one of these radio buttons is checked, whoops, that's not is checked, If that's the case, then we're going to say dice roll kind disadvantage. That, and then we're going to come down here and say else if test. I bet it says disadvantage roll. I got to change these names right here. If that's checked, then this is going to be a disadvantage roll. And otherwise, it's going to be just a normal roll. Okay, cool. Next, we need, what's the next piece? The modifier we need to take. We need to get the modifier, which is probably TBX modifier is the name of that. So then we're going to say, what's the other piece that's needed here in the constructor? The damage dice. Okay, so we'll say TBX damage dice.text. So we'll send that out. Then we're going to say dice roll. So set the other properties on it. Actually, you know what we can do is I think do this right here. And the other properties are the modifier. That's equal to modifier.text. And yeah, what you got? It's VS 2019. Don't think it changed the font. Wait. Which font is that you're using for Solution Explorer and window and menu items? So I did not change anything on there. I'm using the dark theme. And the dark theme, when you change themes, it changes some of the fonts around the edges. So I think that's what's happening there. If we go into fonts and colors, sometimes I change this. I used to change this to make it really, I would change the settings for, what is it, the system in here is where I think it is. But these are not in alphabetical order. So it's a little, it's a lot of noise I'm filtering through to find it. There's a setting in here and I don't see it right now. Environment, I think that's it. So you can come into the environment and you can change that and it'll change these font sizes around here. But I think that if we switch to a lighter theme, we're going to see this environment font size change. That's what I think is going on. Okay, Dreamland, you are welcome. Okay, so modifier is equal to modifier. Oops. Let's figure this out up here then. So we're going to say if TD is going to give me a type reference to double, and then try parse is there. And we're going to say modifier out TD again, result, or modifier, I don't know. I'll say result for now, like this. Then I want to come down and I want to say modifier is equal to result, or dice roll.modifier is equal to result. So hold on, then I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do. That's just going to end with a semicolon. Then we're going to say dice roll.modifier is equal to result, semicolon. Okay. We need something else here. What do we, the damage dice? Did I lose that somehow? Looks like I lost the, oh no, wait. The kind is the first piece. That's the piece I didn't do. Okay. All right. Modifier is going to be default to 0. Otherwise, we want to do the same thing with the hidden threshold. Hidden threshold. And I guess I'm just going to do this to reuse this result variable. Is that cheap? I don't like that so much, but that makes me uncomfortable. But I'm going to do it, I guess. I don't know what. Let's do this. It's making me uncomfortable enough that I'm going to get a better name. And we're going to come down in here. And can I rename just this one, please? No. All right, fine. We had that in CodeRushed a while back, but when importing to Roslyn, we decided that we decided we would go with Visual Studio's implementation because it was very close to ours in terms of rename. It's fine. It's guarded with the if. Yeah, no, I know it's kind of fine, but I'm like, I wasn't liking it. I was just not liking it. I wanted to be able to like cut this and move it up here. I like code that I can change order of. And so it's a little more wordy, but anyway, that's where we are. Okay, so we've done modifier, hidden threshold. I'm just using tab index reference here to get inside. We've got the damage dice, the type we haven't done yet. The type we need to do, and whether it's magic or not, we have to do. Those are the last two. So we're going to say dice roll dot, whoops, what's going on here? Dice roll dot is magic is equal to ckb use magic dot is checked is equal to true. Okay, and then we're going to say dice roll dot type is equal to dice roll type dot attack. Okay, boom, and then we're going to call we're going to call test roll dice like that. Okay, we got some good data going down. So there's that. Ooh, I am thinking that all of this can be extracted into its own method. It's the same everywhere. Prepare die, prepare roll, like that. And set the attack. Actually, let's do this. Add parameter, put that in there, like that. Type, like that. And then let's come down in here and we're going to set that dice roll type inside here. Surprised you were not using, I lost power. I've got battery backups. Is it coming back? It's coming back. Nice. Nice. Let's turn on the lights that didn't have battery backup. All right. That's what we call a recovery, although I'm seeing on my air conditioner the letters P4 instead of the temperature. I think the air conditioner did not like that, that shutdown. S&B did it. Yeah, you did, didn't you, S&B? You said, glad to see you have power again, CodeRushed. As you said, oh, there we go. I got a 25 there. So that's in Celsius. So we're starting to cool again. And then this type right here is equal to type. That's what I'm talking about, kids. Battery backup on both the router and on all my equipment here. So 2 different backup systems. So, and it's in the past, it's happened where they've been working on power or whatever, storms and things like that. Power's gone out, and normally the stream would be dead because we'd stop streaming, but because of the battery backup, everything keeps going. All my monitors stayed on, just lost a couple lights, and that was it. You might not have even known it had the lights not gone out. Okay, so there's our prepare roll. And in fact, we can even inline this temp right here and get this into one line of code right here. So let's do that. We'll inline that. Test roll dice is there. That's for the attack click. Saving throw is there. Oops, that's the death saving throw. There's the saving throw, the regular one. Skill check. And that's it. So we don't have the one we are not supporting right now in the UI a percentage roll. We don't have those yet. So we'll do that. Okay. So now did the test fireball work, by the way, or no? Well, I wasn't looking. Let me know if that's not working and we'll maybe pursue and figure out why that's not going. Did not work. Wow. All right. Let's figure that out. That could be. Let's do a refresh, because sometimes the refresh is the helper, is the thing that helps out here. Here's the refresh on that. Let's see, we'll test that after those scroll bars go away and that refresh is done on the stream and see if that test FB works. I do have Mr. Announcer Bot up there. He is definitely working. Okay. I'm wondering if we need this app running to get it to work, if that's my problem. I'm not sure if it is or not. Okay, so we've got this. We're going to send the data out. I think, by the way, at this point now, if this builds, so progress bar is right over here on the build. If this builds, we can go back. This is the main thing we needed to make changes to. We can go back and now take over changes from the TypeScript side without having to shut everything down. Oh, there we go. Both of them worked. So the fireballs are working now. Yeah, the refresh. Sometimes we need refreshes, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't have a deep enough understanding. And S&B says yay on that. That's excellent. We're having a good day, aren't we, kids? Right? Power went out, came back. We're still up and going. We got fireballs working, and we're about to test the die roll. So, or at least to be able to start writing code so we can start seeing die rolls directed from here. Now, we got to change code over on the TypeScript side of things. I was hoping Rory would be here for this because I was thinking a second pair of eyes were going to be useful. Let's do this. I'm going to shut everything down again, and we're going to restart so we have everything running. So let's do that. I'm going to close this instance of Visual Studio down. I'm going to close down Mr. Announcer Bot, so bear with me as we shut these pieces down for the stream. Okay, let's go to there, closing that down. And killing every instance of Chrome. They are done, gone. Are you handling crits yet? No, but we're going to do that in the next couple days. So, and we've got cool effects for crits, and we'll have some text effects and some audio effects for those as well. Yeah, we're going to do that. That's going to be handled down in the TypeScript side of things, I think. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to come back into the solution, manage our startup projects. We're going to add our Dungeon Master app, to that, and hit start. And let's switch to this view. Switching back, that'll cause a reload of those pieces. Here's our test app right here. And so, got some values set in here. I want to let's go into the dice roller. Where's my SignalR connection? I'm forgetting where I added that, or if I did even add it. Let's go in here and look at, I think it's in the game engine, connection.ts. And here's the roll dice. So if the dice layer's there, okay, it's inside of the dice layer. I should be able to set a breakpoint there. It's not going to be hit now, but that's because I haven't loaded the dice layer overlay page. That's out over here, called die roller. When that loads, that breakpoint should be good. Looks like it may be good already. Okay, so if that's good, so it's still loading the page up right now, is what's happening. And for folks that are just joined us lately, let me show you some of these effects and let you listen to the sound effects too. It's just loading them up, but sound effects should turn on in a second here. Maybe after this loads. There we go. Those are some catch-up sound effects. There we go. So kind of some cool stuff here that we've got here in terms of getting rid of the dice here. Let's do inspect a second and see what's coming out over here in the console. So different ways of getting rid of the dice. Ring. This is an effect that I'm going to use for magic dice right here. When the dice roll. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so with the dice roller, there's the dice roller. Now we're doing this thing, though, that we're rolling S&B says, oh my God, pretty cool, says Link Slumps. The next stream is called Kill a Dragon and Take Its Stuff. Quite appropriately that you were working on D&D. That's cool that's the next stream. All right, so let's see. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to turn off. I love the sound effects, by the way. The sound effects, I should talk about this. If you didn't see us create the sound effects, I recorded sound effects for each of different intensities of die hitting hitting a board, and die hitting a wall, a side wall, and of different velocities. And when these dice hit each other, the velocities are checked, and based on the velocities, they play one of those sounds. So if it's a gentle hit. I also have die settling sounds as well. So that settling sound you heard as the 16 came into play right up there, that was one of the sounds that I recorded. And so it's super cool. It's like there's an engine, and if I want to add more sound effects, I can just add them. I can re-record different ones if I want to have a deeper, more resonant sound when it goes across the board. But I'm loving it. It feels real. It looks great. These are like, at this point, they seem like they're probably like the best looking die that's out there. How are you distinguishing a 6 from a 9? I'm going to fix that. I'm going to draw a underline underneath it. I fixed that in the earlier test work I had done with the teal dice that had a 3D sample, and I haven't fixed it with this new code that we use because we needed updated code to work with the more recent versions of 3JS and Canon. So, all right, so let me drag that off screen, and I'm going to mute that site so we don't hear that anymore. And we are going to see if we hit our breakpoint. And let's try that. So I should be able to click on like attack, and look at that. We are in our TypeScript code on the dice layer. Now we're just going to log it right now. I'm going to go ahead and run it, and we'll see what that data looks like coming down. Now we're going to have to create something. Let's inspect it. Look at the console. Where's the data array 4? No, that's something else, I think. Hold on a second. There it is, right there. There's the piece we're looking for. Let's zoom in on that so that we can see that. So we have a type, we have a kind, we have our damage dice, we have our modifier, so that's a +1. Hidden threshold is 12, its magic is true. Let's go over to here. That all looks correct. So cool. Let's just look at this. We'll make some changes here and see what we get on the other side of these. Been lurking, but hola all, says the Michael Jolly. Welcome, the Michael Jolly. Glad to have you out here with us. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I just want to make some changes, and I want to see what comes across here. Skill check is the kind is 0, type is 0. Over here, type is 1. Saving throw, type is 2. Whoops, I'm just realizing, sorry, this is coming up behind the chat room here. Let's put that up there right over my head over here on this side. And let's shrink this down over here as well. And we'll do that. So we can kind of see as we go across here. So there, the type is 0. There, the type is 1. Type is 2. Type is 3. Type is 4 for those different kinds of rolls. And if we do an advantage roll, let's do an attack with that. Do we see it? Well, the kind is a 1 right there. And if we do a disadvantage roll with an attack, the kind is probably a 2. Yeah, so the kind is, that's the number of die that we need to do. Or the kind is which one of those are. Now, what we're going to have to do is kind of duplicate the object down here, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe duplicate the enums for readability. I think I'm going to do that. So let's go find those enums, and we will. There's something else I was just thinking about too. Is with the. Let's go find it. Advantage. Here we go. I want to set this to is checked. Set that to true. Like that by default, because I forgot to do that. Okay, let's go to the code. And let's go to dice roll kind. Let's copy that. to the clipboard. Let's go back over into dicelayer.ts. Let's pop this up at the top. I don't think the public makes sense there, but I think everything else is the same. And there's our dice roll kind. And let's go back over here. Where were we? Dice roll type is the other piece I want to grab. And we're going to grab that from here to here. And go back over to the dice layer, and we'll pop that up here too as well. I'm not creating a new file, because creating a new file means I've got to modify my dieroller.cs HTML file and specify where it's going to be. And I just want to right now kind of get the code working, and we'll do that later. So there's that dice roll type, dice roll kind. Where's the dice roll effects code? I'd love to take a read on that. Let's give you an answer to that question. We've created it in previous episodes, by the way. So if we come out to twitch.tv to CodeRushed like this, and we go to our videos. Let's do that. Over here, you can see some of the videos that we've had from previous episodes. And looks like their titles are all cropped. There's a timeline control. The timeline control was used for sending effects out. We've done like a lot of episodes on the effects, actually, to be fair. This is the code we started with for today's show right here. Episode 110 began right here. And so you can look at the source code in there. The essence of it, though, is in the well, I guess it's in the overlay manager in the TypeScript. This is where all our effects are. So we've got the game engine here. We've got the Dragon H game engine or specific pieces as well, and the CodeRushed specific pieces. And so these are here, and so you can explore these pieces. The game engine we built starting from the beginning with this show. So we built this game engine, and everything here we've done from scratch. So that's kind of what's going on there. So there you go. And thanks so much to Mr. Announcer Bot, through courtesy of Will Bennett, who talked about the active projects out there. So cool. Okay, so now we've got to kind of create this thing out here. I think I want to go back to my breakpoint and see if I can create an object down here so I can work with something easily and kind of typecast one to the other. So I'm going to just throw an attack out again. I'm hitting this, and now, why am I not breaking? I think it's because we made a change. We're going to have to refresh. By the way, Mosrick, since you're new, you may not know about the drone command. And so Will Bennett has exercised the drone command just by typing in exclamation mark in the word drone. At least I think he has. I don't see your drone command, Will Bennett. Oh, there it is up above. I scrolled back up. And he's dropping paint and all kinds of things out there. All right, so we've refreshed. I bet it works now. Skill check, attack. No? Really? I lost my breakpoint? What? I don't get that at all. I did make changes over here to the XAML. Let's see if we're sending it up on this side. Let's do that. I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right. And we're doing test roll dice. And there's the data. Come on. Why aren't we hitting the other breakpoint? Well, we're probably getting it down here. I guess I'll just I'll work without the breakpoint because I don't want to restart everything off over again. Let's see again. Attack. Now we got a breakpoint. Oh no, it's the upper one. I didn't. Not the. I was hoping for one in JavaScript. The code for the effects, by the way. SMB says the CodeRushed debug visualizer is epic. I'm finding it very useful. Yeah, we worked hard on that. I think the general rule is if you want something to be really good, you've got to work really, really hard on it. You cannot get really good without a lot of effort and a lot of minds and eyes looking at it. So anyway, Monster, one thing I was going to say is I don't have the assets for any of these special effects checked in because the assets most of them I have licensed. And so those assets are not things that I can share on GitHub. So that's what's going on there. So we'll just change the gravity to the sun's gravity, and is now bouncing around. Cut himself a seed. Okay, so what I wanted to do is come over here and see if we see something in the console window here for this. Let's clear the console history. Attack. There we go. Okay, so the data is here. I'm just going to copy this. Can I copy it? Come on, I can't copy this? I thought I could do it. There we go. Just have to select it first. Okay, so that's what's coming down. I'm going to use that in my dice layer over here as a kind of a thing. So we need to deserialize the data, and I forget how to do that. I need to go look at trigger my memory here with how we're doing it over here. That's it, JSON parse. Okay, cool. So we're going to come back over to where we were. We're going to say JSON parse the dice roll data. That's going to be our data transfer object. It's going to be coming in. Let's comment this out right here. And then I think I'm going to do let's create a new class here too. So why isn't that working? There we go. Class, we're going to call this dice roll data, or dice roll DTO, dice roll data, I think is what we're going to call it. And we are going to have, what's going on here? Am I just in the wrong spot? I don't quite get this. Am I inside the class? Oh, I am, that's why. My indent level was off, that's why. Okay, there we go, dice roll data. And we're going to have a property called type of dice roll type. And do I not have that in there? Okay, so let's just do this instead. We'll say this is type. We're going to change this from number to dice roll type down there and there. And let's create another property in here called dice roll kind. Do I really want a property, or do I want, I guess I don't really need effects on this, do I? Let's just do this. And we'll do that, make it public. Kind, dice roll kind, damage dice. Dice is that. Let's go to modifier is a number. And hidden threshold is also a number. And is magic is a Boolean. Like that. And I'm going to create a function called getDiceRollData. Like that. It's going to take in, let me just drop a marker here and get this using selection increase, copy, jump back, paste. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to go do this, and we are going to do, this is going to return a dice roll data. And let's see, there's the DTO. We're going to create a new dice roll data instance in here. New dice roll data. Do I have declare local here yet? Not yet. Makes me sad. Okay, do I have that? I do have that. Okay, cool. Dice roll data. is equal to new dice roll data. Don't want to block the code, says Mostrik. Let's see here. Gotcha. Dice roll. Let's do that. And then we're going to say dice roll dot type is equal to DTO dot type. Like that. Let's mark that. Let's mark that. Let's use duplicate line on it. Kind is kind, duplicate line, and then we're going to say damage, whoops, damage dice, that, duplicate line, modifier, duplicate line, hidden threshold, boom. Look at how it's changing the case on both sides here to match the pattern. Is magic, boom, like that, and is that it? That's it. So cool. So duplicate line made that easy to get all those lines of code in there. And then we just want to simply return that at the end. Whoops. Return, paste, enter. So there's my get dice roll data. So that's feeling good. Now I want to be able to say something like, there. I want to rename this to dice roll DTO. For data transfer object. Like that. This dot, there's my data. Yeah, I'm heating up. I don't want to block the code with my drone. You never want to do that. All right, what do I got here? What's my problem here? Cannot find name. What's happening here? What am I doing wrong? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing C#. Doing C# code right here. Like that, and a let. That was C#. All right. Okay, so there's my dice roll data. Let's do this, a console log of just that dice roll data, and just look at it. I'm going to kill this, save it. Let's refresh. And book over to console here. Let's bring this up, throw a death saving throw over. Nothing's happening. Oh wait, I'm not done refreshing. Okay. I think we're still running old code. It is now it looks like it's done refreshing. There it is right there, dice roll data. It's like right, let me zoom in on that so we can see it. Kind is 0 and type is 1. So that's okay, but we've typecast those. So those are, I'm trusting those values are good. The modifier is +1. I feel like we're good to go. Now we got to figure out what to do next. Where's my mouse? Really? My mouse is not on any screen at all? There it is right there. Found it. Okay. There's my mouse. All right. Good to have you back, mouse. All right, so I am hungry, but I don't want to stop. And I was like thinking, I brought one of my bars here with me, and I'm like, I could totally eat that. But it's also I was thinking, you know what I really need? I need like an ad for CodeRushed or something, so I can play it for a minute and just eat, so I can keep going. Like that's what a pro would do. But I don't have that ad, and so instead I will probably eat. But I'm going to wait till we're at a compile stage and we're waiting for something. Oh, is that my hint? You want to give away a copy of CodeRushed? Is that what you want to do? We can do that right now. What was hiding from the cat? Funny, you exhaled while the smoke was over your head. Oh, I didn't get that part. I totally misinterpreted what the funny was about. So I did like this, like that. That's funny. Okay. So yeah, we can give away a copy of CodeRushed, and I'll take a snack break here while we do that. And then what we want to do when we come back from that copy of giving away a copy of CodeRushed, I want to start figuring out how to figure out how to make this so that this doesn't roll automatically and instead rolls only on command. That's what I want to do. So we will do that. In the meantime, let's give away a copy of CodeRushed. So here's how we do that. Every time we give away one, we already gave away one to Mostrik because Mostrik was helping us out and giving great suggestions and leading us into some killer demos. And so we did that. Today, well, it's time for, let's do this. And today's winner is
SignalRx.
we still have the cow. That, this is clearly a mistake. That cow is from Legendary Moo, who won a couple days ago, or last show maybe. Legendary Moo is awesome. Dairy is spelled D-A-I-R-Y, like a dairy cow. That person won last time. So, but I like the moo sound in there. That makes me happy. Okay, so our roll data is coming down. I got a couple bites. My stomach's going to be like, all right, cool. I can chill out for a little bit longer. Now we want to send this. So this is kind of interesting. We want to actually send this down to the dice roller is what we want to do. Do I want to change this up? I don't know. I love that it's in this object-oriented world here. Like the dice layer is a class, and the die roller.ts is not. It's like I cringe and shudder when I'm thinking about this code here and what I want to do to fix it. But essentially, I've got to make a call to, I think, is it random dice throw? Yeah, it's kind of like I got to make a call to random dice throw. Well, this is, wait, hold on, this is random. Yeah, I think we're going to need to refactor. That's what I think we're going to need to do. So let's see what we got here. Somewhere in here, the D20 is selected as the die. Or no, wait, we do this actually outside of this loop. Here it is right here. Yeah, this is not good. I want to instead move this to here. So that's step one. I want to, step two is I want a function that's going to be clear dice. Like that. And that function is going to look like, that's the line I wanted. And I want to say scene, and I bet there's a remove. I hope there's a remove. And then I want to come in down here and I want to say dice is equal to an empty array. Like that. Okay, so there's clear all dice is there. I'm betting that there's a remove. That's what I'm betting. Can't navigate, but yeah, I think I'm betting there's a remove. We'll see if there's not, and we'll have to figure it out if it's not. Clear all dice. So now I want to come in here and say clear all dice right here. And if dice to roll, if not dice to roll, then return, get out. If nothing's happened with it. Let's go see, where are we? Dice to roll. Oh wait, that's a number. That's not what I'm looking for. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I want this. Dice.length. Glad I caught that here, because that would have been like a confusing bug. And I want to say not. Dice, then return. So if dice has not been, let's see what's going on with dice. Dice, well, it's always going to be there. If not dice or dice.length is 0, then return. Okay? And by the way, Will, I'm like so psyched for when we build the music system for this stream. I've got like some great songs, and I figured out that we'll have like a boombox, and if you throw a bomb on the boombox, it'll stop the song and go to the next one. It's like a skip button. And if you fly through it, it'll be like you like it, I think. I think that's what I'll do. But the bomb is definitely, if you throw a meteor on a boombox, it'll go chuk chuk, and then it'll skip ahead to the next song, whatever it is. Okay, and then there'll be a way through the chat room so you can choose what kind of music you want to listen to. All right, so I think Clear All Dice is going to work. Yeah, I think I'm excited by it. I just wish we didn't have all this other cool stuff that was getting in the way of doing that. But definitely when I get back from vacation, we'll do that. So clear all dice. Then we're going to add them, re-add them here. And I would just want to check to see if this code works without, so I'm going to hit refresh here and see if we still see this thing still happening. So it's still loading the effects and things like that. Let's unmute the side. Oh, it looks like it stopped working. That's not good. Die.getObject is not a function. What? Oh, hold on. I know it's wrong. I think I know what's wrong. Wait. It's not there. Where is it? Yeah, it's there. Add die.getObject. Push die. Pushing die. Yeah, it actually should be a function. Oh no. It's there. I see what's happening. Okay. Yeah, we're using the same variable in different ways in two different places. I'm going to rename this one here to die object here, so it's a little easier to read. And we don't have ambiguity. Let's refresh. Let's do one other thing too. Every time we clear the dice, let's increment dice to roll. Let's refresh. And then we can kind of get a sense of, is this working? So there's a 4. Next time should be 5. There you go. Neat. 5. So this is going to go get really bad. Not maybe necessarily fast, but in a minute or two, this is going to get really nasty. But it's a great test for how much the system can take. I'm going to take another bite. What's happening? I think I'm in a Stack Overflow error. I have no response here. Well, wait, actually, I'm not expecting a response unless I click down here. Nope. There's my inspect. Doesn't look good. These are expected. Wait till the current throw is finished. Range error maximum call stack is exceeded. Boom. Internal step, internal step, internal step, narrow phase. Yeah, it's like it's not us. Our code's not, well, we do have this. We have this code here. Let's see, is it, so we should be able to handle this many die. That's not a problem. Let's do this too. Let's just try a refresh on those, that change alone. Just see what happens. So you're seeing partial effects, you know, the dice are going away without the other effects because the other effects aren't loaded yet. We're still loading those up. Oh, you know what's happening? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's listen in. You know what it was? It was, I think, a bunch of sound effects were queued up. Oh, I just clicked it. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, it's just adding another second. It's adding an extra second each time we add a die. That second is a little bit too much. It's going to kill me, I think. Nope. Yeah, it does not look or feel good. I am wondering, I think there may be a problem with our assumption that we can clear all this dice data here and get rid of it. I have a feeling these dice are maybe used somewhere else because they were essentially globals in the sample code. I'm just using CodeRush's tab to next reference feature to kind of go through all these.
They're awesome!
Yeah, the dice roller we built just a couple episodes ago. So yeah, in fact, Will Bennett was helpful in that. Linkslump says, all right, I'm out to study. GL in the coding. Thank you so much, Linkslumps. Sorry I missed that if you're already gone and I didn't get to say goodbye to you. All right. So what is going wrong here? We are like essentially hung here. Or I don't get this at all. I'm not sure about going down that path. Yeah, let me just try this. Instead of calling clear all dice, let's comment that out. Let's go back to where we were. Restore this. So we have this code here. Let's also say dice to roll like 30. Seconds between rolls, 9 seconds should be enough, maybe 12 seconds for all those to go. Let's try that. Let's refresh it. I think it can handle 30 dice. I don't think it's the number of items on screen. Still loading. Effects up. Still loading. Yeah. That's 30. Yeah, it's not the number. It's something else about the architecture that I'm going to just bump it up to 60 dice and see how that works. I have a dog who wants me to let her out. There's some meeting of the dogs out there. Look at all these dice stacked up ready for the roll. All right.
Going off rails.
We need more time for that, apparently. I think it's like the audio playing is no, now we're frozen. Yeah, so that's a bug. I am going to definitely call that a bug.
That's a bug.
That's a bug. I'm not sure how to fix that. I'm not sure what is going on with that, but it seems like it's related to the audio. Let's at least try this. Let's see if we can verify that while we've got this idea. Let's grab the dice sounds piece. And let's comment this out. It seemed to happen on the steampunk tunnel one. And let's refresh it. Let's inspect. I'll switch to the steampunk view here. That's colored smoke. That's the bomb effect. That's steampunk tunnel. Here's a steampunk tunnel without sound. Nope. Well, wait, we're just loading, so let's give it a chance. Nope, there it is right there. It's not related to audio. So this is something... What is going on? Oh, we got some uncaught promises exceptions. Look at these. These are related to not being able to play the sound. I wonder if those are from the die roll themselves. The sound effects for those. Let's go. That's the only other sound that's coming out here right now. Wall, floor. Oh, wait, you know what? This is way easier to just be like, boom. No, wait. Yeah, right here. Do that. Settle sounds will still be played, right? Play dice hit? No. Oh, I see. That's dice hitting dice. Okay. try that. So no sound at all. Yeah, it seems straight, but it seems to be only this one effect. This is the longest effect. Also, it may have nothing to do with the sound. But I wanted to just verify, because I was, one of the things that brought me down this path is I was hearing like a lot of the sounds overlapping, and I was like, oh yeah, that's not feeling good. I should probably have some defensive code in here to see if the same sound is coming back to back very closely within a certain number of milliseconds, and just allow those to not come in at all. So here I've refreshed, and nothing's happening now. What's going on with that? Okay, here we go. Those are the dice settle sounds. Still 326 uncaught promises. Wait. We should be hearing no dice sound here. Oh, that's the one. I missed one down here. All right. So now we're going to do no sound. Yeah. Maybe recording a sound of like 4 or 8 dice when die count is high, then play the 4 dice sound, num dice sounds, or something like that. Mustard, at this point, I'm just trying to verify that it has something to do with sounds. I'm almost thinking it does not, but I wanted to just rule that out. I wanted to see what's happening here with this. So let's go into console. What are we on? Okay, there we go. Whoops. We were color smoke. Bomb. Steampunk tunnel. This is the one I want to be on. Okay. Yeah, so this is about a 7 or 8 second animation. Yep, there it is. Nope. I suspect it has to do with the processor. Let's see how it works now if it's smooth, because it was just loading. Nope, there we go. It's totally stuck. Yeah, so I think feeling it's a performance issue. I'm going to need to research that. Take a look at what's going on with that. But it does not explain what was happening before when we made those code changes. Yeah. This is like really, it could be architectural as well, because like I said, I'm not familiar with the architecture of this. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Since I am kind of got interrupted along the path I was headed with this other issue, I want to take some time, think about this before we come back and necessarily figure out how we're going to solve this. Disappointed, because I would totally anticipate that it should totally be able to handle this, right? It's like this. Yeah, sometimes we end with a sad show. Sometimes. Yeah, it does not make sense. Everything's running fine and then just stops. And then we go to this. Oh, you know what else is happening? I just noticed. It's happening just before we get to this all stable. Is that true? Coming in, it's all stable shows up right over here just before. I think it might be an architectural issue. Something in the sample code that I don't understand, I didn't look at. Let's do, there's another idea I have, which is, let's take the time between rolls and make it be 16 seconds. And give us more time to clear all these out and see what happens. In the beginning, the dice just seem to be very packed. I guess there's a huge amount of collisions to calculate until they spread out. Next door, I don't think that's the problem. I think once it's just loading, we see them stacked. That's how they all come in, because basically we've got to get them so they're not over on top of each other as we push them onto the table. Okay. clear this. Not hearing the sound because I think I commented it out. So normally there would be sound of this. Yep, there's the, yeah, we didn't have enough time to clear them all out though. I think it's because we're running a lot of animations when it's trying to start up or check. So this all stable is coming from dice.js. This is from the sample code that's out there, or that we base this on. Prepare values. And although if we were here, we would see this right here if the throw is still running. But the throw is not running anymore, but we're still doing animation. I think that the problem is in this prepare values, which is inside dice.js. That's what I think the problem is. Let me just bump this up to 20 seconds and see if it all of a sudden can just keep running without that. What did you use for the formulas in the doc comment? That's CodeRushed as well. So CodeRushed has got, let's see, where is that? That's over in Die Roller. Yeah. So CodeRushed has got, is that right? It's just up above a bit. Am I wrong? There it is right there. So so it's just a LaTeX formula. So you can find an online LaTeX formula generator to help you build it, or you can use the CodeRushed templates to do it. I went into detail on this, I think, in yesterday's show, or last Thursday's show. Oh, yeah, we're still essentially dead here. Okay, well, we got something we got to look at, and I'm not sure what or why. All right, well, I'm going to say thanks to everybody that's out there. I'm going to give some thought. I'm going to get some, let my dog out, get some lunch, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have some kind of idea on how we're going to solve this, how we're going to get through this. Thanks everybody. Thanks Monster. It was nice to meet you. Congratulations for winning a copy of CodeRushed. Thanks Will Bennett as usual. You're always out here.
Will Bennett rocks.
Doing that thing. Nextdoor and Straight Butter. Who else did we have out here? I forget who else was earlier with us. S&B, right? S&B was with us too. Thanks, S&B. So I'm going to end the stream. Let's see if we got anybody that we can raid everybody over to here. Who's running right now? No one is running, it looks like, that I normally follow.
Only risk 1%.
No one I normally follow is running right now. So we'll just say goodbye to you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.